Hello, my name is Daisy Velez, and this is my assignment 13 VPK program interview exploring child development and educational practices. For this assignment, I did interview my son, Noah Velez, and some of the things that I learned throughout the interview as far as analysis and reporting was that this is the first connection that a child makes with an educator. So that first connection is very important. It kind of defines how the child is going to see education, this experience in general. So I found that to be very important for him. He was very shy. He didn't really trust the teacher. So that's kind of the first connection, what I did see reflect later on, but he did mention that as well. The second aspect I saw was the social development that children develop during VPK, um, which is making friends around the same age group, creating those relationships. So this was something that VPK teaches children as well, is to make that social connection and make those, um, you know, social development skills that they will need for the future and to enter kindergarten as well. VPK also exposes children to the emotional aspect of VPK, which is being exposed to emotional situations when they are playing with children, those sad, happy, excited emotions that they're going to have to deal with when they're in a social kind of aspect. And, when they have to share with other children, whether the toy gets taken away, how to deal with that. So I did see that VPK also deals with those emotional aspects in the emotional development of children. Another thing that I saw through the interview was how VPK exposes children to self management and self regulation. My child did mention that some of the things that VPK taught him once he noticed in starting kindergarten was that he was ready, and he felt that because he did have good self regulation and self management, that he was able to intake the information that he learned better, or that he was going to learn better, because he knew that he had been in this situation before where he had to sit down and kind of review curriculum, have a daily routine. So because he already knew what to do in the situation, he knew how to self-manage himself in the situation in which he learned in a VPK. Also, the curriculum was something that was brought up during the interview as well. He did mention that had some struggle with reading, writing, and when it came to kindergarten. And this could be because VPK doesn't necessarily go into the curriculum very detailed. It's more kind of like the first steps of teaching children, exposing them to this type of situation. So, learning their letters, colors, shapes, their ABCs. It's not necessarily go into the aspects of reading and writing. Um, but it was just very interesting to see that the curriculum was something that he did brought up that he struggled with later on, and it could be that maybe they didn't go into detail into literacy and math, and teaching them how to hold a pencil, right? And this could be something that when you are looking, parents are looking to put in their child into a VPK, that they check out the curriculum, which is something that, he was in this daycare before and it just offered it. So it's not necessarily something that I looked into, and maybe I should have. Um, Another thing that correlates with this is the cognitive development that VPK provides for them. Kind of goes hand in hand with the curriculum that they provide, is kind of getting them exposed to learning, preparing their minds to, receive that information, learn new things. And so that was kind of my experience on the interview portion of it. As far as child development, the way that VPK helps children, and I've seen throughout, was it helps them with social development, emotional development, self management, cognitive development, and self recognition. I did add self recognition on there because my child did mention that throughout these activities and the curriculum that they did, he did learn that he loved art. So BPK also teaches children to learn a little bit more about themselves throughout the activities that they provide children with on a daily basis. The the way that the program aligns with contemporary educational practices is it's art. So we can see this on all the hands-on activities that you're going to do in the mainstream school, and VPK provides as well. The social emotional aspect is being exposed to new relationships, new situations, and we saw that. Cognitive development, the new skills that they're learning in VPK, the curriculum that they're being presented with, and the focus that all this has to do with later on reading and math is how it's going to help them out. My brief summary and findings with the focus interconnected between the program and current curriculum practices is that VPK is a stepping stone to mainstream school. So when children attend VPK, it teaches them the basics of being exposed to that situation later on. So how to react in those situations when you're put to socially connect with other children of the same age group, how to handle those situations, how to create those connections, emotionally, again, how to react in those situations where now you have to share with someone, and cognitive, once you're put in this position that they're giving you information, you have to intake all this information, how to process that information. VPK teaches um, children to be prepared for that. VPK also teaches children self-management skills by, having a daily routine, getting the children exposed to this daily routine, comfortable with this daily routine. This is something that happens in the mainstream schools where children come in, they have their bell work, they have to learn how to self-manage, how to stay in your seat, and get prepared for the next step, the next procedure that is happening in the classroom. So that was kind of my connection, was that VPK is a stepping stone and practicing of the skills that will happen in mainstream schools. Thank you.